Hello, this is John Proxy, and this is The Abstractive, a name that's not only incredibly pretentious, but also gives you no clue as to what the hell this is. Well, this is a review show. What I do is I take this magnifying glass, it's a metaphorical... I don't own a real magnifying glass, but with it I take an in-depth look at anime, fantasy and science fiction shows. For instance, today I'll be looking at Naruto. Now, what can I tell you about Naruto, which means I won't spend 5 minutes talking about the big three or telling you what the hell shonen is? Well...
This milk is way past its expiration date. One sip of this and he'd be running to the bathroom all day.
It's about ninjas. I suppose this is a good time to cut to the credits. So we start the series with a little bit of back history. As the voiceover explains, a long time ago there existed a giant nine-tailed demon fox thing. When its tail swung it would destroy mountains and cause tsunamis, and was generally a bit of a git. So an army of ninjas got together to take down the beastie, including this bloke known as the Fourth Hokage, seen here riding on this badass gargantuan toad, whose mission in life seems to be to single-handedly keep the tobacco industry alive. At least I think that is tobacco. Unfortunately, the Fourth Hokage died, but not before sealing the giant nine-tailed demon fox thing into a small baby, which he'd presumably had nearby in case any legendary beasties needed sealing up that day, like a demon sponge. The nine-tailed fox is actually rather common in Japanese lore. That's why you might recognise Ari from League of Legends, or Ninetales from Pokemon, or if you don't know those two, you'll definitely know Tails from Sonic the Hedgehog. Coming back to the episode, we meet the titular character, Naruto Uzumaki, in the hidden village of Konoha, defacing the 4 stone faces that represent the 4 Hokage, and if you may have guessed it, it's very much a Mount Rushmore deal, only it didn't involve carving into somebody's sacred mountain, at least not that I know of. Apparently, Naruto makes quite a habit of this sort of thing, so it's up to his teacher, Iruka, to drag him back to ninja class. It seems that Naruto is not doing so well. The lesson of the day, the transformation technique. This strikes me as the most advantageous power a ninja could possibly have. Yeah, other ninja can basically see right through it, but I'm still sure they're not using it to their fullest potential. Hell, when Naruto uses it to turn into a naked girl in what he calls the seduction technique, he's scolded for it. Sure, he's gone off the lesson plan, but I'm damn sure well that a ninja organization should be able to make use of such an exploitable technique. So you might be wondering about that ridiculous nosebleed. Yeah, Japan has some rather interesting censorship laws, one of which is that you can't show physical forms of arousal in shows like these. So instead they make use of metaphor. So, I'll let you use your imagination for what that's a metaphor for. It should be noted that Naruto is only 12 in this series, so if that makes you uncomfortable, I apologise. At least at the start of the series, it's used quite a lot for humour, and only gets worse, well, more weird, when Jiraiya arrives. Later on, Iruka treats Naruto to some ramen, and we get some much-needed exposition. Iruka tries to understand why Naruto would deface the stone faces, and we're told that the Hokages are the number 1 ninja in the village. It's probably best to think of them as mayors, although Naruto only recognises them as the most powerful ninja. This is what Naruto aspires to be, basically for the recognition. Right now, of course, Naruto's the opposite. He's at the very bottom. Failing the final exam, he's not even able to get the much-coveted forehead protector and the rank of Genin, which is a proper ninja. His classmates treat him as a buffoon, and the adults treat him with contempt because of a secret. The final exam, and the second technique that we learn, is the clone technique, which allows you to create an intangible double that can be used for scouting and decoys and such. Naruto is useless at this, but Mizuki, the white-haired fellow, believes that they should pass him anyway. Iruka shoots that idea down, saying that you need at least 3 able clones as the minimum. As the only ninja to fail, a depressed Naruto retires to the swing of loneliness, where he is approached by Mizuki, who tells him of another way to pass. We don't get to see this, only the aftermath. Mizuki reports to Iruka, telling him that Naruto has stolen the sacred scroll of seals, and a manhunt ensues. The scroll of seals is apparently a list of forbidden techniques that the first Hokage hid away. Naruto, of course, is unaware of the implications of this as he sits outside the village trying to figure out the first one. It is here that we find out what Mizuki is up to. His plan was to get Naruto to steal the scroll from the village, then to steal it off him later, that way Naruto would be blamed, which sounds like a bloody stupid plan if you ask me. For one, it isn't a particularly well-guarded treasure if the worst ninja in the village can take it easily. And two, I have no idea why he couldn't have taken it himself. He warned Iruka, which means had he taken it himself, he would have been well outside the village before anyone had even noticed. I'm not sure having a scapegoat's that important if you've got the village's most important techniques at your disposal. Naturally, Iruka finds Naruto first and is confused at Naruto's casual reaction. In this time, Naruto has successfully learned the first technique, which Naruto thinks will allow him to pass the exam, unaware that he's been tricked by Mizuki. Iruka puts the pieces together rather quickly and now has to defend Naruto from an attacking Mizuki, but then Mizuki has a new plan: the truth. 12 years ago, the giant demon fox was sealed inside Naruto, and the villagers were forbidden to talk about it. Well, given the whiskers, it was either going to be him or Hello Kitty. This, by the way, is why the villagers hate Naruto so much. A lot of people died when the demon fox attacked, including Iruka's parents. Mizuki tries to use this information to turn Naruto against the village, telling him that even Iruka hates him. It's not a bad idea. If it wasn't for the blatantly evil way Mizuki's acting, I'm pretty sure Naruto would have been gullible enough to fall for it. Iruka doesn't hate him, of course, and I'd like to think because blaming the actions of a giant fox monster on a baby is a bloody stupid thing to do. But actually it's because they were both orphans and Iruka feels some sort of kinship, having acted out quite a lot himself in his youth. Apparently being an orphan makes you attention-starved. So Iruka saves Naruto from Mizuki, taking a giant ninja star to his goddamn spine. Iruka is the first of Naruto's father figures, which Naruto collects almost as much as Harry Potter. Anyway, Naruto freaks out and runs away. All while this goes on, the third and current Hokage watches on from his crystal ball. The show usually gives quite deep explanations for how their various powers work, which I'll get into when the time comes, but I have no earthly idea how this ball is supposed to work. I have to wonder if he has any problems controlling the camera. I can just imagine him trying to look at another angle, getting frustrated at the accelerometer keeps rotating the screen accordingly. Come on! I just want to look underneath! Is this a technique that the Hokage knows, or is this literally a magic ball that he has come into his possession? Because either way, and I know I'm repeating myself, this is an organisation all about war and espionage. A remote viewing device would be incredibly useful. I really hope Jiraiya doesn't have one of these as well. I know you don't know who that is yet, but trust me, you don't want Jiraiya to have one of these either. It's also inferred right here that the Scroll of Seals could be used to unseal Naruto, turning him into the nine-tailed fox again. So it's pretty much a super weapon. So next time, guys, put it in a vault, or at least somewhere where children can't get at it. Ninja children. So it looks like Mizuki, disguised as Iruka, catches up to Naruto first, but Naruto punches Mizuki out of the disguise, and then it's revealed that it's actually Iruka disguised as Naruto, which is needlessly complicated to explain. Also, his spine's apparently fine. See how useful the transformation technique is? I swear, it's only used now and a few times during the Chunin exam, and then it's pretty much forgotten. So, it's time to see Naruto's new technique, the Shadow Clone technique. The difference between this and the normal clone technique is that the Shadow Clones have a physical form, which allow the user to attack with them, effectively giving Naruto a small army which he uses to pummel Mizuki. It should be noted that all techniques require power, and for a normal person, cloning a small army would be nigh impossible. It's also interesting that the clones dissipate when attacked, but if they attack other people, they don't dissipate, even though the force applied to a person is also applied to yourself, so, using Newtonian physics, they should dissipate then as well. But I shouldn't be applying Newtonian physics to a cartoon about magic ninjas, probably. So, in the end, I presume they arrest Mizuki, but it turns out that stealing the scroll of forbidden techniques and learning one of them is enough to pass the exam, so at least Mizuki wasn't being honest. Sort of. So the next episode opens with Naruto having his picture taken for the ninja registration form. Apparently Naruto had spent a good deal of time trying to look as much as a prat as humanly possible, which does not amuse the Hokage. So Naruto and Hokage argue the merits of form pratitude. Hokage's insistence that this photo will represent him for the rest of his life is quickly countered by Naruto's ability to turn into a naked girl. Fortunately, they are interrupted by the Hokage's grandson, Konohamaru, in an attempt to usurp the Hokage, which is quickly foiled by him tripping over his own scarf. Konohamaru blames the fall on Naruto, who does not take kindly to this, punching him in the face, much to the shock of Konohamaru's personal and rather possessive teacher Ibisu, but strangely enough, earning the respect and admiration of Konohamaru himself. Outside, Konohamaru stalks Naruto with all the wit and guile of an 8-year-old trying really hard, and yet somehow is still immediately spotted by Naruto. Unimpressed by Ibisu's lessons, Konohamaru wants to learn the secrets of the seduction technique, which has bested the Hokage, and appeals to Naruto's vanity, calling him boss. It is here that we are introduced to the concept of chakra, or katra as Naruto mistakenly calls it. It's the pool of energy that ninjas draw from when performing their ninja techniques, but the show explains further. It says, the ninja arts is a combination of the physical energy gathered from every cell in your body with the spiritual energy you build up through training and experience, which you join together by clasping your hands in what they call a seal. Luckily, this is all read to us because these two don't really know what they're talking about. Naruto asserts it's all really about hard work. There's a bit more to it than that, but the series is nice enough to spoon-feed us these core concepts. So for the next half of the episode, fluff! This involves the pair walking around perving on women for research, and Naruto getting beaten up. Afterwards, we do get some backstory on Konohamaru. For his entire life, he's lived under the shadow of his grandfather. He's only ever been treated as the grandson of the Hokage, even when he acts out or does something foolish. This is why only Naruto gets beaten up when they're caught perving on ladies. And it's also why Konohamaru decided to follow Naruto in the first place, as Naruto is the only person he has met that, even knowing his relationship with the Hokage, that would have the gall to hit him. For the first time, we see some empathy with Naruto. When Konohamaru announces his ambition is to become a Hokage, Naruto retorts that he'll have to go through him first, treating Konohamaru on his own terms and not as the grandson of the Hokage. It's a nice little moment as Naruto isn't being completely selfish, although it's a little marred by the fact this conversation seems rather out of place for two children. Eventually, they are found by Ibisu, who, like most of the village, regards Naruto a monster. Konohamaru, who doesn't want to go back with him, fights him the only way he can, using his now perfected seduction technique. It doesn't work, thanks to Ibisu's scruples. However, no one has enough scruples for Naruto's brand new technique, the Harem technique. While this is incredibly silly, it should be noted that he has combined the shadow clone technique with the transformation technique, which goes to show how some of the logic of the powers work in this show. And so the second episode ends with the declaration that they will now be rivals, racing for the title of Hokage. Just want to look underneath. Why'd you keep spinning? Up!